Welcome to These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mama. On today's episode, we are recapping the Finlandia Trophy. So I didn't get a chance to do a prediction video for this leg of the Grand Prix, so I'm only doing a recap video. And as always, we know that the ice is slippery, the blades are thin, and anything that could happen will happen. And boy, did it happen, specifically in ice dance. I don't even, what is going on with ice dance? I don't even know. Is it Jenks? I'm trying to figure out because I feel like ice dance tends to be that one discipline where everything is pretty structured, pretty standard. You more or less know what's going to happen, and it doesn't tend to deviate from the norm that much. But these last couple of competitions have just been cray cray. So, our winners here, to my surprise, and I guess it made sense that I didn't do a prediction video because I wouldn't have been able to predict this. So the winners here were Lila Lewis and were Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. Why am I always merging Lila and Lewis into one person? So the winners were Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. The silver medalists were Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier. If I was a betting man, I would have put even money on Piper and Paul winning this, and I would have lost. The bronze medal with that wonderful free dance was Yulia Tequila and Mateus Velus. In fourth place was Natalie Teslanova and Philippe Teschler. In fifth place was Ona Brown and was Emily Zingas and Vladim Kolesnik, followed by Yuna O'Hara and Juno Pereira. Then it was Ona Brown and Gage Brown, followed by above Ona and Gage were this pair that I constantly forget about. I'm so sorry. Was Ava Pate and Logan Bai. Then were Oma Brown and Gage Brown, followed by Hannah Len and Ye Kwan. And then in last place was Maria. Sorry, my voice is killing me. Maria Penchak and Makata Pogorilov. Oh my goodness, I don't know. So first of all, ice dance, we rarely see falls. This season, we've seen nothing but falls. So starting off with poor Maria and Makata, this was just such a difficult outing for them. They were fine in the rhythm dance, and then we got to the free dance. And first, Makata went down, knocked into Maria, took her down. Then she completely got the wind knocked out of her and proceeded to then sort of be a little disoriented and fall down again. And two falls and one free dance and ice dance is it's it's nearly unheard of. And then we had Hannah and Ye. I love the new bodysuit that Hannah is wearing. She looks fabulous. She looks more confident. They look like they're growing in every aspect. And again, that Cruella de Vil is to die for. I just don't understand what is going on with this suppression of this team. And I will go even a step further to say with the suppression of the South Korean skaters across the board. I really feel like, and I felt this for a couple of seasons, that the South Korean skaters are just being like suppressed across all three disciplines that they're currently participating in. That's just my feeling on it. And then another heartbreak here was Ona and Gage. Oh my goodness. Their rhythm dance was just great. I love this rhythm dance for them. It shows off all their powers, all their skills, their edge control, the way that their knees just sink into the ice. And then the free dance, they going into the free dance, they were the top American pair. So they had a nice, comfortable lead going into the free dance. Unfortunately, they missed their timing on the lift, so Oma's legs didn't land on time um, on top of Gage's thigh, and they literally had to struggle to yank the lifts back up, and that cost them so many points and dropped them so low in the standing. And then here we also had Yuna and Yuno. I feel like they have some of the closest twizzles in their competition, especially in the rhythm dance. When they do their twizzles, they're very close to each other. It's like when some ice dance pairs do their twizzles, there's so much space in between them. You don't really have that with Yuno, which I love. What I also love is the fact that the judges are finally beginning to reward them in terms of presentation, because this pair gives you so much presentation, just so much face, so much personality, so much vitality. And I'm glad that they're finally, getting rewarded for the performance aspect of their skating. Then we had Emily and Vladim. Unfortunately, the twist for Emily in the rhythm dance sort of went a little off centered, and that really cost them. You know, I felt like the judges were willing to put them in like fourth place, but the twizzle just sort of like took them out of contention for that. But they did manage to come back in the free dance. I really like this program for Emily and Vladim. There is something special, something tangible about this pair. And I'm very, very glad that they're getting a more professional level in terms of their packaging. I feel like if they continue around this path, this could be a great team for the future. Like Vladim is an incredible um, pair ice dancer. He's got beautiful line. He presents his partner well. He's got connectivity with his partner. And Emily, coming from the single world, she's got a lot of performance ability. She's got a lot of ice presence, and they're starting to merge to become one team. And I feel like there is something special there. And I pray that it's nurtured, because ooh, I would love to see where it goes. Natalia and Philippe, there was a small mismatch error in their twizzles and the rhythm dance. But oh my God, you guys know every time this pair competes, I have to rave about their speed, their power. This is a pair that has complete control of both their inside and outside edge. They make you believe in a bracket. When they come down the ice, you feel like you are watching something of substance. I'm very happy to see the judges are starting to reward them with scores that are going in the right direction. I still don't feel like they're being properly scored, but at least it's going in an upward trajectory. I really, really hope this pair does not get discouraged. They continue to fight, because I see them on the podium in the future, because they are what I think of when I think of pure skating skill. And that's what I feel like ice dance should be about, the skating skill. Then you match that with the music. Then you match that with the packaging. Then you match that with the performance. And then you have something magical. But you have to start with the skating skill. And this pair has that in abundance. Taking the third place here, the bronze medal was Yulia and Velus. I'm still not crazy about the rhythm dance. I just feel like rhythm dance is not the strong suit of this pair. I get it, it's 50, it's catchy. I get it. I just don't love it. But then we move on from the rhythm dance to the free dance, and I love it. I love every movement. I love every moment. I love the tension between them. I love their conviction. I love their at 110% commitment to the character in the performance. I love how fabulous they look. I don't know, I love traditional ice dance. There's a reason why it's great. It's because it's great. So well deserved third place finish here for them. In second place, to my surprise, I think to most people's surprise, but then again, we have to keep remembering the ice is slippery, the blades is thin. Shit happens. In second place was Piper and Paul. I still feel like they have the best rhythm dance of the top four. Like let's really look at it. What is that 11 song headache of Madison and Evan really doing for me? It's giving me whiplash. What is, I can't even remember, the non-remembered performance of Charlene and Gennard. Like their rhythm dance is pedestrian, is the nicest thing I could say about it. It's completely pedestrian. And then we get to Lewis and Lila and Lewis. Their rhythm dance is not bad. It's not bad. But for me, Piper and Paul's rhythm dance is just a lot more on theme. It's a lot more fun. So I just enjoy it so much. And then the free dance. At first, when I was watching the free dance, I was like, oh my God, I love how on the nose this program is. Because you know, when they say a cartwheel, he switched her over into a cartwheel. And when they say the wave, he makes her do a little wave. I was like, that's so sarcastically on the nose. And everything was going well. And then down Paul goes on the twizzle. And not only does he goes down, but then he knocks into Piper like bowling ball, the ping pongs in the bowling ball, and down they both go. So this is what with this is all of last year's world podium medalists have lost one competition this season. So Lila and Lewis have taken out both the gold medalists and the silver medalists of last year. Again, I'm not 100% sold on the free dance for Piper and Paul, but I was not 100% sold about the Withering Height all season. And then we got to Worlds, and I was like, yes, 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 it was everything. So it remains to be seen. Obviously, this was a fluke, but they lost. It is what it is. They lost. The winner here is Lila and Lewis. I just don't like the Ragoon crooked leg lift, guys. I can't. I like this couple. They're so entertaining. I was one of the few people who was like, yes, Ricky Balboa. Dun, 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 dun. I was into that program from the very beginning. I was with them. I'm usually with them on their program. But this Beyonce crooked leg lift, like, they both look awkward in the lift. Like, Lewis usually looks so elegant and refined, and when he lifts her into that lift, he looks awkward. Add to the fact that Lila doesn't have the best leg extensions in ice dance. She doesn't have the best positions in ice dance. Like, let's be honest, she is not Madison Chalk. And then you put her in that awkward lift to just make it that much more obvious. That just seems like cruel. So they won here fair and square because Piper and Paul went down, but it is what it is. So moving on, from the ice dance, we go to the men, which again brought us another set of drama. So for the men here, Yuma Kageyama was the winner. Kevin Amos took the silver. Daniel Grasso won the bronze medal. Sota Yamamoto was in fourth. Lucas Buchki in fifth. Kazuki Tomono in sixth. Alexander Selevko in seven. Vladimir Semolov in eight. Camden Polkinen in ninth. Mark Sunset in 10th. Voltaire Vetonen in 11th, and then Junhwa Cha withdrew. So I'm gonna start with Junhwa Cha. So he did the short program and he went down on the Sal quad, the quad Sal cow. After that, all the other elements were wonderful. But for some reason, the judges decided to bury him in terms of his PC. And this, what I just said for dance, is why I feel like the 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 South Korean Federation as a whole is being suppressed because Junhwa Cha got a 39.85 for his PC. Daniel Grasso got a 39.13 in his PC. They both had errors. How does that make sense? How does that make sense that their PC scores is that close together? And then after the short program, like they did the interview with Junhwa Cha, you could see how defeated he looked. You could see how depressed he looked. You could see how exhausted he looked. And if I was him, I would have withdrawn too. Like, what is the point of me doing this long program? Figure skating is already a sport that's stressful on the body, that's stressful on the mind, that's stressful on the spirit. You have a skater who is probably performing in terms of PCS at the top of his game, and the judges refuse to reward him. Like, how demoralizing must that feel for Junhwa Cha? So if I'm him, I'm withdrawing too because I'm like, what is the point? What is the point? Um, anyhow, starting with Vietnam. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just really like I just don't get it. I really don't. Like what's going on. Anyhow, so starting with Voltaire, guys, I don't really remember what he did. I know he struggled with all of his jumps in both the short and the long. But I was so upset about Junhwa Cha that I really was kind of zoning out the men. But what I do like about this skater is that he has like a complete life outside of skating. He is a doctor. Could you imagine being a doctor and then an elite athlete at the same time? Like that is so amazing. That is so amazing. Like he is just living his dream and living his passion. And even though the jumps weren't there, listen, keep doing you. And then Sasev, he had errors on all of his jumps in the short program, but he did do much better in the free. The jumps were a lot better in the free. And then Polkanen, he was struggling on spins, more of the same with his jumps in the short. The long was uneven. The triple lutz was nice, so was the loop. The rest were either doubled or popped. So it was more of the same from Camden. You know, yeah, this is what you get from Camden. And then Samolov, I would say nice quad sow. He opened up the program with a nice quad sow. The rest of it was a struggle. And then for the free, the quad lutz was a nice opening. It was a nice quad lutz. But then he immediately like doubled the quad sow. Then he popped an axel. And it looked like he hit like a sinkhole on the ice, and that's what led to him popping the sinkhole. He just didn't have enough clean jumps for me to get a full understanding of the program. Selevko, I really liked his short program. I also really liked his long program, which was the tango. And he decided that he was going to go back to last season's program because he just felt like he wasn't in a space where he could really do justice to the tango. So I'm hoping he brings the tango out for the Olympics. So he opened up the program, but then he went down on the quad toe loop, and then he doubled the axel, and then he singled the jump combination. So this was not his short program. It was not his day. The free, he did open with a nice quad toe, but the rest of the program was pretty up and down. And I feel like there's so much injuries in terms of the men this season. There are the injuries we do know because the skaters have told us about it, but there are also injuries that we don't know because the skaters are not talking about it. All in all, I I feel like Selevko has a lot to offer as a skater, and this was just not his competition, but I would love to see what he has. And then speaking of injury, that's exactly what we're dealing with Kazuki Tomono. He came out here and he gave us a quad toe, triple toe. And then he gave us a quad sow where he hanged on, and then a beautiful, nice triple axel. And you were like, this is the best showing he's had all season in terms of the short program. And then he started the free with a nice quad toe loop and double toe loop. But then he popped the sow. And then a fall, and then a single axel. And even though he was like in second place after the short program, with each mistake you could see the medal getting further and further and further away from him. And I feel like this is because of the injury. Because of the injury, he's unable to train as much as he wants. He's unable to do as many run throughs. But what a beautiful skater. Despite all of the difficulties in the free, he never gave up on the performance. He never gave up on the character. He was there all through it. I'm not going to say I love either of Tomono's programs this season. I like it, but it's not love yet. But let's wait and see what happens at Japanese nationals. And then Lucas Bucci, listen, he gave us a good fight on that quad toe loop, double toe loop. Um, he fought really hard in the short program, and I'm really happy to see that. His free program, his short program, I would really like to see him skate cleanly because it's a really nice program. The free, we saw a much stronger skate from Lucas, both in terms of his tech and his PC. He only had one quad in that program, which unfortunately, in terms of like the tech score, is not going to make him really competitive. But I still felt like it was a wonderful outing for him. And I'm really glad he's rebuilding slowly. Yamamoto, Sota Yamamoto. My goodness. There's a lot to like about Sota Yamamoto. For instance, that quad toe, triple toe he has is so consistent. It's his bread and butter. You could bet on that quad toe, triple toe from Sota, and he's gonna deliver like a good 93% of the time. But then he's also going to step out on a quad salchow and then go down on a triple axel. So the unevenness of his skating, you just don't know what you're going to get. And I feel like if he could get the short in the free clean, he could have a moment. I do think the free program really suits him. Um, in terms of his skating style, in terms of his personality, I do think that free program really suit him. It's too bad about the triple axel in the free program, but otherwise this was a really good outing for him. Then we get to Daniel Grasso. I feel like the judges were really, really generous, both with the tech and the PC for Grasso. I also think the tech caller likes to go on his espresso break whenever Daniel get on the ice because those flat ass edges were like, oh, I don't see it. Those under rotation. Oh, what are you talking about? I literally was like, you could see that shit in real time. I didn't even need the slow mo to be like, oh, he's on the wrong edge. Oh, that was under rotated. But apparently it was only me that saw this, not the ISU appointed tech caller. But he's got three quads, whether they are rotated or not. We're going to get the quad lutz, the quad loop, and the quad sow. Whether he's on the right edge, whether he's rotating them, the judges are going to give him the points. So there you go. He was in third place. Good for him. I'm not crazy about his free program. I think I've said enough about that um, long program. Mikhail Kulyada. That is all I will say. Go Google Mikhail Kulyada, and then we will have a discussion about this ballerino free dance. Um, I was so incredibly happy for Kevin Amos going in the right direction. He's now made the Grand Prix final. Love both of his program. I always love when Kevin Amos steps on the ice, and especially when he's on. And I was so happy to see him. This wasn't a perfect performance either in the short or in the long, but at least it's getting towards that consistency of not imploding, of fighting through the program. And I was so happy to see it. So the short program started off with the quad toe, triple toe. It was a little tight, but then he did a wonderful triple axel, just a wonderful triple axel. And then he goes into the triple lutz, and I feel like it's almost as if he lost his air awareness. Like he just lost where he was in terms of being in the air. But other than that, the rest of the program, he sold it 100%. He did not let that error taint the rest of the program. He gave you every reason to give him the maximum PCS that you could. And I'm so glad that, he won the silver medal here. And with two silver medals, he's most likely going to the Grand Prix final. The free started out with two errors on the quad toe, both in the quad toe and the combination and the quad toe by itself. Again, he did not let an implosion happen. He just dug down, skated the rest of the program cleanly. He gave us two beautiful triple axel, and all I could think of is this is complete skating. This is a skating vernacular that speaks to me, that I just love to see on the ice. Very happy here for Kevin Amos. Um, this event for Yuma Kageyama was very uneven. Um, in the short program, the opening quad sow was magical. I literally was sitting there with my mouth open, like, oh, this is wonderful. Then he did the quad toe loop, triple toe loop to the music, and I was like, yes. It was a wonderful spell being cast over me, and I was here for this. I immediately was like, okay, this is going to go into my watch again figure skating playlist. Unfortunately, I do feel like the judges are suppressing Yuma's scores this season because, and this is nothing against Ilya Melanin. He's not doing this. This is not his fault. But I do feel like the ISU has chosen who they want their champion is. And I do feel that in order to achieve that, scores of other skaters are being suppressed. And I feel like in this short program, that is exactly what happened to Yuma. Unfortunately, the free program was a little rough. I don't think I've seen Yuma pop the quad flip since he came back from injury. And then he also had to step out on the quad sal. He did come back on the quad toe, triple toe, which is very steady for him. But then he had another step out on the axle. Then we had a beautiful quad toe loop, and then another step out on the axle. And then he even had an error on the step sequence, which is very uncharacteristic of Yuma. I feel like this was not his competition, but this is not indicative of him as a skater or even where he is in terms of the season. I think it's all about the ups and downs, the highs, the lows. I think it's part of skating and it's part of any and every sport. So the fact that he had a bad outing here, like he was first in the short and then fifth in the long program, I feel like shit happens. Shit happens. And I think Yuma has a great team around him in terms of like his father, in terms of the support staff he has from Caroline. So I think he'll be fine. He's made the Grand Prix final. He can go back. They can figure out, I'm sorry, Carolina. I just gave Carolina a whole new name. In terms of like Carolina Coster, his dad, he has a great support system. I feel like they're gonna go back. They're gonna recalibrate. They're gonna figure out what went wrong, and they're gonna come back stronger. So I'm not that concerned about them. And then the pairs, the winners here by a country mile were Diana Stiletto Dudek and Maxine Deschamps. In second place was Maria Pavlova and Alexei Shreshenkov. In third place was Rebecca Glady and Filippo Ambrosini. In fourth place was Kelly and Laureen and Lucas Ithier. In fifth place was Emily Chen and Spencer Akihawi. In sixth place was Yuna Nagaoka and Sumitada Muroguchi. In seventh place was Melania Van Men and Filippo Salixi. And then in eighth place was Naomi Williams and Lachlan Lure. I felt like this was a pretty decent pairs competition. We've seen stronger pairs competition at some of the other events, but I still feel like this was a decent pairs competition. So this was a debut for the young pair of William and Lure. She's coming back from an injury. They didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this event. So all in all, I think it wasn't that bad. Their twist is nice. Their throws is okay. They go down on the side by side together, which I always think is amazing when the pairs sync their ability to fall down together. I feel like in terms of them making a debut, this was not a bad outing for them. And then Melania and Filippo, it was a hard fall for him in the short program on the side by side. I don't really have a sense of who this pair is yet. I don't have a concrete image in my mind of who they are. They're there, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with them, but I just don't have an image of them. And then Yuna and Sumida, this is two strong single skaters that are becoming one. So as a result, we are seeing the growing pain of them becoming a pair. So we do see the throws are a struggle for them. They only have a level 2 twist. I could see that level 2 twist becoming a level 3 twist next season because they have the height for it. Their side-by-side jumps, because they are single skaters, is obviously their strongest elements. They also have really nice lifts. There's a lot of potential with this pair. I feel like if they could stay together, weather the storm. There's definitely potential there that I can see. This was another outing for Emily Spencer. Um, I feel like their twists and their throws are on point. The side by side, listen, Emily was fighting for that side by side in the short program. Unfortunately, it was a side by side spin that dropped them in the list in the position. Literally, Spencer kind of fell out of the spin, which I'm sure is something that probably never happens in training. And it was such a just a dull moment. But yeah, that dropped in the spin really harmed them. And I feel like that's what has them in the position that they are. I do like the layout of their program. I felt like they took a page from the Chinese where they just put the jumps at the beginning of the free program. They were like, let's just get this out of the way so we can skate the rest of the program. And I like that. You got to know what your weaknesses are and you got to just deal with it. I feel like more pairs need to be like, let's just put these jumps in the beginning of the program, then hope the judges forget about them, and then skate the rest of the program lights out. That's what I would do if I was them. The throw triple flip for me in the long program was the highlight, the height, the ice coverage, her exiting it and holding the position. It was a beautiful throw triple flip, and that was the highlight of their free program for me. Um, and then Canada's Kelly and Luca, they have nice side by side triple sow cow jump, and they have a really good throw loop. The twists and the lifts are looking better. They do have a huge throw sow cow, like it's a huge throw sow cow. Again, nothing about this team is fundamentally wrong, but nothing about this team is wow or memorable either. They're just a very nice maple syrupy team. Nothing wrong with them, nothing to write home about. But they're a young pair. I may be singing a different tune, who knows, in a couple of years from now. In third place, one of my favorite pairs was Rebecca and Filippo. They have a clear split going into that twist. Her legs are like, bam, here's your split. Rebecca has beautiful hand movements. Like when she's performing that short program, just watch her hand movement. They're just beautiful. I think the composition of both of their programs is incredible. The lifts are just magnificent. Unfortunately, in the free, Filippo was the one who went down on the triple Salchow, which like I think 90% of the time it's usually Rebecca. Uh, but I don't think that's what kept them from getting the bronze medal, the silver medal here. What kept them from getting the silver medal was that in both of the throws, they had the throw triple flip and the throw triple loop. Hands went down on both of those throws. And they're usually, I would say they have like a 80% average on their throws. So for both of the throws to go down with a hand down, that's what really kept them from the silver medal. But I love their program. They, in that long program, she is giving you Miss D level of pace. And I'm here for it. In second place was Maria and Alexei. I get secondhand embarrassment. Sex bomb, sex bomb. Yeah, my sex every time they do their short program. I get secondhand embarrassment. They had a random fall on the step sequence on the short program, and I'm so happy to see Maria just laugh it off because you could tell they have a nice, mature, supportive partnership. Because we know there's a lot of partnership both in ice dance and pairs where that support is not there. So it was nice to see her laughing it off and him being there supporting her. It was really nice. And they also had an obvious time violation, which they didn't get called on. But okay. The free started off great. The side-by-side jumps were bang. Both throws were on point. And then he goes to lift her into that group 5 reverse lift. And then just, I don't know if he just didn't have enough strength in his arm. He just could not get her up in the air to get her into position. And so he made the wise decision to protect her and just put her down. I felt like their score in the free would have, in the long program, would have been a lot higher if not for that lift situation. Um, I like their rhythm, their long program better on them. I don't love it. I don't think it's great, but I do think it's a better vehicle for them than the sex bomb. Oh my Lord. But it is what it is. And then our winner here, Deanna and Max. Oh my God, the air position and the lift that Deanna gets, the arch in her back, just amazing. Just amazing. And the programs, they're growing into the programs. The programs are being filled in. Um, the free, they doubled the second side-by-side jumps. Deanna just was down on the short triple lutz. It had a lot of air time. It had a lot of ice coverage. It had a lot of distance. I think they overcooked it just a little too much. So first she stepped out looking a little disoriented, and then she went down. And then on the second throw, the throw loop, she also had a hand down. Again, I feel like the free program to the water wave, it's definitely growing. There's a lot of potential there, and I'm willing to go with them on this journey to see what happens. And then finally, the women here. So the women's competition here, we had our winner was Hana Yoshida. In second place was Rino Matsuki. And third place, oh amazing, was Laura Naki Goodman. And fourth place was Sarah Everhart. And fifth place was Unsoon Yoon. And sixth place was Laureen Charles. And seventh place was Nina Petrokina. And eighth place was Mai Mihara. And ninth place was Lindsay Thorngreen. And 10th place was Yana Uriken. And 11th place was Nella Palkonen. And then in 12th place was Olivia Lisko. I think this was a lovely outing for the women. Starting with the 12th place, Olivia. Nice big triple toe, followed by a huge triple lutz with both hands over her head. Then she had a meaty double axel. Her layback is still a level 2, so is the step sequence, but the short program was really more than I was expecting. Unfortunately, the free showed the limitation of her jumps. She doesn't have a triple combination, and the free, realistically, she skates a lot slower and a lot more tentative than the other skaters. But all in all, being under the pressure of being on home ice, I still felt she did wonderful. Was very happy for her. Nella, another skater with huge jumps. She's coming back from injury, and you could definitely see that, especially in, the free where, some of the jumps were just highlights and some others were just bunker and all over the place. But she is another skater that I'm hopeful to get girthy jumps out of. Yana, she had a nice triple lutz, no, nope, her triple lutz and her triple toe, as well as her triple loop, were all under rotated. But I do like the music choice that she has. In the free, she took a nice chunky look at all of her jumps, and she did the best she could with them. Unfortunately, she went down on the triple sow, but I still feel like this was not a bad outing for her. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I still feel like Lindsay Thorngreen. Lindsay is going to have her day. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but she is gonna have her day. Unfortunately, that day was not this competition. She went down on the Lutz. And again, I think it's a lack of air awareness. She was in the air, she got lost, and then plop, she just sat down. Um, and I feel like that sort of just knocked the wind out of her. She tried to like turn the triple flip into a combo, and I think that was quick thinking because originally the triple lutz triple toe was supposed to be the combo, but since she went down on the triple lutz, she regrouped and then did a triple flip triple toe combo, which not many skaters can do that on the fly and on the run. And that's why I think Lindsay's gonna have her day. I really love both of her program. The Windmill of the Mind. I actually wish she hadn't brought it back this season because I wanted her to bring it back for the Olympic season, but it's okay. And I really like the free program because I feel like Sandra and David are really trying to get her out of her comfort zone, to get her out of her shell because she's such an introverted person and an introverted skater. And I feel like if she could give us a little more on the ice, that would really help with her presentation, in the performance aspect of the skating. My Oh, she's struggling. I love my Miyahara, and this wasn't a love that happened instantly. It wasn't love at first sight. When Mai first came out, I thought she was a very boring skater, to be honest. I just felt like Japan had a lot of other skaters that I was way more fascinated by than Mai. But slowly but surely, like the little engine that could, Mai has just won over my heart little by little. And she's just been through so much, and she's always done it with grace and beauty and a smile on her face. And so I'm constantly rooting for her. Unfortunately, the short program was not it. She did the triple lutz, but she only had a double toe. And then the flip, again, problematic. She could only get a, double flip. But the footwork was really nice in that short program. That's such a beautiful short program. It suits her. It suits her personality, her musicality, her skating skill. It's a lovely short program for her. In the free dance, we saw the triple lutz, triple toe, and we also saw a clean triple flip. And I was like, yes, um, yes, 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 yes. Unfortunately, the other jumps were like either step out or double. But you know what? Small victories, small victories. That's what I'm gonna go. Um, Nina, she did the triple flip double toe. She's a really expressive skater. There is a lot of musicality in her performance, but I feel like the technical aspect is just keeping her down. Because not only did she do a triple toe, double toe in the short program, she also popped the triple lutz, which did not help her. Again, I do like her music. Um, the free for me was better. You could tell this is a skater again who could be a girthy jumper. The triple Lutz covered so much ice, and she's doing a dune program. Not my favorite dune program of the season, but not bad at all. Laureen, the triple Lutz triple toe was a fight. For me, she is like a cat with those reflexes. I am literally like, how did she manage to do that? That is crazy. Listen, all her jumps landings are always beyond imagination for me. I feel like I don't even know if they can fix the wonkiness of her jump technique. I think what they need to work on is just work on the other aspect of her skating because I don't know that particular jump technique is something you could fix. And then on Soon she started with a huge triple Lutz triple toe, and then also a really nice triple flip. There are other aspects of her skating that she just needs to work on, like the layback being a level 2. She definitely needs to like work on that because that's just points being given away. Um, for me, her short program is okay. She also started the free program with that same huge triple Lutz triple toe. Then she also had a really nice triple loop. The step sequence here was a lot better. It was a level 2 step sequence. Unfortunately, she popped the triple Lutz Uh, I've said this in other videos, and I'll say it again. My problem with the South Korean women is a lack of life. I feel like a lack of life and a lack of individuality. You know, the only two that I would say are the exception to that rule is Cheon Kim. She's always stoic in the face, and then Yalen Kim. Yalem is a beautifully expressive skater. But I feel like the other South Korean women, they just lack life on the ice. And I don't know how do you even fix that. Is it a question of confidence? How do you fix that? Because all of them sort of like bleed into that sameness that just seemed to lack a little bit of life for me. Um, Sarah Eberhardt, nice clean triple toe, triple toe. Good rotation on that jump. Good height in the triplets. I feel like she's one of those skaters. It's gonna be rare to call her jumps because her jumps look good in real time. So it was nothing to complain about. The free, she opened it up with a triple lutz. She followed that by the double axel triple toe, which was also nice, good height, nothing to call about that. The flip was a bit of a fight. Then there was a step out on the triple salchow, but those were the only major issues. She does have like level threes on two of her spins, which is points she's losing there. She needs to gain, and also there is no triple triple combination in the free dance, which is also points that she's losing. I don't mind the Firebird program or the River Dance program, but I don't love them either. I do think a good packaging director, as well as some great programs, could probably take her to a US national title. Like, I'm willing to make that prediction. If they could package her really nicely and get her two good programs, I could see her taking a US national title. In third place, and boy was I happy, was Laura Naki Goodman. She opened up the short program with a triple toe, triple toe. It was a little bit of a struggle. However, I love her short program. That Squid Game short program, I'm so happy to see her skated clean here. Just wonderful. And then she opened up the free with the triple Lutz Euler triple Salchow. And then immediately she did a triple toe loop double axel. And I was like, oh, Laura is not playing. And then we have to keep in mind, like, she wasn't even supposed to be at this competition. She's a replacement. And she was like, I'm going to make the best of this opportunity and see what I could get. And what she got was a bronze medal. The only major error in this program was a step out on the triple flip, but otherwise the free program was the cleanest I've seen her skated so far. And again, I like the long program music for her. So I was so happy to see this. Then we get into Reno. In the short program, she had a fall on the triple flip. But even though she had a fall in the triple flip, this was still a much better short program for her than at her first Grand Prix. The free started with a beautiful triple loop, which she followed by a triple lutz, triple toe, double toe. So that's her three jump combination, which is the triple lutz, triple toe, double toe. The only mistake in the program was when she doubled her triple salchow. Her skating is like sitting in a garden overlooking a fish pond, which is filled with like yin and yang fishes, just like beautiful black and white fishes just swimming about. This is skating balance. This is where the artistry meets the technical, and you just sort of let it go. You just allow yourself to be in the moment. You allow yourself to be in her edges sinking into the ice. You allow yourself to watch the speed and ease in which she moves from one position to the next. My only issue with Reno, and this is becoming a habit with her, is not having a clean and a short program. She really would be a contender for everything if she could have a clean short followed by a clean long program. But I feel like since this is a much better clean short program here than at her last competition, it is possible that that's what they're moving towards, is a clean competition. The winner here was Hannah Yoshida. The triple Lutz triple toe, clean as a whistle to open up that short program. The triple loop, equally nice. This short program is definitely growing on me. I don't love it, but I feel like it's growing on me. The long program, much better. She opened it with the triple axel, and that was the only major mistake she had in that short program. After the fall on the triple axel, she dusted herself up and she came back, she fought. I'm thinking, let's just take out that triple axel. Let us just take out that triple axel because obviously, has she landed that triple axel all season? I can't recall if she's landed that triple axel all season, but I just feel like let's just take out the triple axel. Let her, especially for Japanese national, because that's going to be a bloodbath. I say take out that triple axel for Japanese national and then maybe put it back for next year because that's the only thing holding her back. But I do like Hannah Yoshida. I think she's a really good skater. I think she's a really interesting skater. She's definitely got a unique point of view, and I definitely love that. As for my spotlight, who do I want to shine my spotlight on? It's gonna be Laura Naki Goodman. To be a replacement, to do back to back competition, to come here with no expectation, to have that fabulous Squid Game program, to do two of the best performances of your career, definitely, without question, Laura Naki Goodman is my spotlight of this event. But you guys let me know in the comment who was your spotlight on this event.